I never break my promises. Welcome to the Browns halftime show with the score. Somehow we're losing by 1 point. But Schmidt just made a 49-yard field goal that I'm not sure Hopkins would have. Well, so there's that. Yeah. And again, we're analyzing what we're seeing and making visual comparisons. So let's start with Dillon Gabriel. All right. There's the overriding thing is that he personally committed 2 turnovers that have made the team fall behind for no reason whatsoever. One on a handoff that should never have been done. Another on really a muffed up pass play where 2 receivers were in the same part of the field. It looked like the tight end, 86, I believe that's Whitehurst, got pushed too far down the field, and Deontay Johnson was just trotting out of bounds, and they were in the same area, and somebody sneaked in between the 2 of them because neither of them really even felt that the ball was coming their way, and that's a pick 6. On the other hand, he started out the game like a house on fire. But let's take everything into consideration. First of all, there are still plays being called by Kevin Stefanski that I fucking hate. All right. Like when you have the ball and it's first down and you just throw that little obvious screen pass sideways that gets knocked down, for a 4-yard loss. And the announcer say, yep, that's just like a sack. And that's exactly what it is. It's the most predictable play call you can imagine. And that is what's going to cost Kevin Stefanski his job, is his incredible over-reliance on being cautious and then being goofy with crazy plays at the weirdest times. And it just doesn't help a young quarterback when you just automatically put him into and what's supposed to be a touchdown drive, a 2-minute drive, and 4 or 5 yards minus right off the bat because of the play call. In the beginning of the game, Dillon Gabriel was right on the money. Jabari Thrash was catching everything with his hands. Very different type of quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. And I wanted to be able to compare these people just with the eye test. What I'm seeing from Dillon is that when he drops back to pass, he's looking to get rid of the ball quickly. He's a quick release quarterback and likes to make, he follows the receivers down the field, does what he's supposed to do. And he's a little bit more fidgety in the pocket than Shedeur is, but he steps into his throws. The ball's getting there with plenty of zip on it and getting to the receivers. They're catchable balls, and the receivers, for the most part, have been catching them. So I see nothing wrong mechanically with Dillon Gabriel at all. And he's not going to run for first downs because he's obviously has a hamstring problem. On the other hand, he's small. And you don't want him getting beaten about because he won't be able to hold up very long. And Jim Hammer, we've held him to 38 yards. Good thing we don't keep score. Exactly. You just can't turn the ball over. And that's what Kevin Stefanski is saying, you can't turn the ball over. You can't make these mistakes with these extra point, bad snaps. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't hold out your hand and I'm going to slap you with a ruler. That kind of thing. It's what I call nun's punishment. And hello to Renee. It's good to see you back. How you doing? I think that throwing to his right now, Renee, is difficult because of the hamstring. That is a motion that would stretch that part of his body out. And they don't want him to redo that injury. But I think they need to see him out there. And I think, the beginning of the game, the Browns defensive line was just stopping them cold, and we weren't seeing Mason Graham. We weren't seeing Schwesinger. It was, now Shelby Harris was in the game, but nothing big, and we were stopping them dead cold. And a lot of that had to do with DTR being their quarterback, and he looks just as bad as he did when he was with Cleveland, and getting sacked, holding onto the ball. He looks small. One finger can drop him to the ground. Enough is enough. When Kyle McCord came into the game, they just handed the ball off basically initially and just ran through the defensive line. But by then, you're playing who knows was on the line. I mean, people who were not even going to be on the team. So from a positive perspective, we started out the game very strong. And the scripted plays that were run for Dillon Gabriel, he ran them very well. So I have no problems with that. The one thing that he has to learn, like so many rookies have to learn, there are very few miracles unless you're at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The league gives them to you time and time again. There are no miracles for rookie quarterbacks. You got to learn when to throw the ball and when to hold on to the ball. And these are valuable lessons for Dillon Gabriel. In my opinion, this has done nothing to detract from Dillon Gabriel being an NFL quarterback. But it looks to me from a physical perspective that he is less likely to be a first-string quarterback. He's a lot like the size of a guy like Tua Tagovailoa, and going to be hurt, going to be beaten about, and that could be a problem. Of course, it all comes down to pass protection. But in this offensive scheme, and this is what you have to look at when you're dealing with Kevin Stefanski, because this year is the year of Kevin Stefanski. Me, and my offense, and it's my decision, and it's my depth chart, and it's, and you're gonna be vomiting by the middle of the season, believe me, because I don't understand how this great Ivy League mind thinks, but some of the calls are just like, you just watching television, you can say, where the play's going, and it's like, it shouldn't be that way. But without cranking on him too hard before the season even begins, it looks like Dillon Gabriel, it's no wonder that Kevin Stefanski likes him, because he runs what I would call the Kevin Stefanski offense, which is utilizing your tight ends, slants, using the middle of the field, short, accurate passes. You notice that nothing was thrown deep, and it's based on some misdirection, some rollouts, much more so than Shedeur Sanders, who was dropping back and pretty much maybe took a little sidestep and would throw, but was not moving from side to side. The choppy steps, more Dillon Gabriel. The flat-footedness of Shedeur Sanders is more interestingly like Brian Sipe, a guy who just, when he felt comfortable in the pocket, he was looking at all of his opportunities from there. It seems to be a little bit faster and more jittery with Dillon Gabriel. So I'm just looking at, I think better than I thought he would. And, I really kind of was bad rapping him a little bit, and he's done better than I thought he would. But the 2 turnovers are just deadly, just deadly. And somebody's asking if Dillon Gabriel's Colt McCoy 2.0. No, I don't know about that. But he is short, but there is some zip on the ball. Now, again, I haven't seen him throw anything deep, but everything mid-length and short were, very accurate. And it's not that the pass that went for a pick six wasn't accurate. It was just should never have been thrown. That's a judgment error. The Eagles offense is barely trying. I think they were trying initially, but DTR doesn't work for anybody. So let's see what else. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is obvious that anybody could see. You don't have to be an expert. Uh, as far as Mitchell is concerned, there were big holes, but there were none of the starters playing for the Eagles on the front line. And some of those holes, I think you could have run through doggy bones. So there's a reason why Mitchell is nowhere to be seen on the depth chart. There is a reason. Yes, just don't tell DTR's mother that. She'll be very offended. And that's exactly right, Jim. The people who are going to be on the field the second half, you're going to be seeing Snoop Huntley and God knows what else. What I was impressed with most, because I'm running out of time here, what I was most impressed with, that Jamari Thrash was catching balls with his hand and looked to be getting open on the slant. I still think Larvadain is a guy who has really quick feet, could be a punt returner for this team. But on the play where he was one-on-one, he could not separate from his defender, and his defender batted the ball down. These are things you look at. You got to have enough size to kind of push off when you're doing a slant to get that little bit of separation. The ball was thrown well, but he just wasn't open. So if he's going to make the team, it's going to be special teams, and that's not easy for a rookie to do, especially a small, fast guy. Let's see. The backup O-line did a good job. No complaints about that. I thought the pass protection was good. And I think the run blocking was good. If Pierre Strong can just run straight and get like 4 or 5 yards, then you're doing your job. You're pushing the defensive line back. That's a good thing. I'm trying to see what else. Exactly, Bobby. It's written all over the game, isn't it? Don't make mistakes, damn it. Don't make. Oh, there's another one. I wonder why they keep making the mistakes. Yeah, emphasis on short passing game, short quarterback. But, again, that's, And I agree. Some of the passes really had zip on them. I mean, I'm not complaining about the strength of his arm. I have nothing to suggest that he doesn't have a strong arm. Or a strong enough arm. I'm not going to say he has a strong arm. When is Stefanski going to name the starting quarterback? He already has. That's Joe Flacco. So you don't have to worry about that, Keith. That's already been done. And no, it hasn't come out of his mouth, but in every action, that's exactly who it's going to be. And I would agree that Deontay Johnson is on the verge of getting cut. He doesn't look like there's any separation. There doesn't look to be any real flair out there. He should be looking way better than he is against lesser players. That's for sure. And Snoop's coming into the game, so I'm getting the hell out of here. But I will be back after the game with the post-game show, and let's see what we'll be talking about then. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll be back after the game. So come right back. See you then. Bye-bye.